Okay guys, welcome back to another story. This story is from a young guy that went to Thailand and met a bar girl, caught feelings for her, as you do. He's giving his perspective of why he thinks men fall in love with girls in that type of work. It's a good read, so let's jump into it. Thank you in advance if you decide to share my story on your channel. I wanted to send my short story and experience with a bar girl because I see the question all the time, why would anyone fall in love with a bar girl? I would like to share my experience and try to answer that question and why I think that I fell in love with a bar girl. So let's start. Once upon a time, a nervous guy took a solo trip to Thailand. I'm a 27-year-old from Belgium and I've always had a thing for Asian women. Deep down, I am a very shy person and quite the introvert. Did not attend nightclubs and parties much and only had a small circle of friends. My experience with ladies is pretty much non-existent. The reason for that is 1, I am not confident at all, and 2, ladies in my country just do nothing for me. Going on a solo trip would force me out of my comfort zone, and I was hoping it would do a lot for my confidence. And what better place to do that than Thailand? On my second day in Bangkok, I met a local who offered to show me around. He was actually a foreigner, not a local, but claimed to have lived in Thailand for many years, so he knew the place to go. After a few beers on Sukhumvit Road in Soi 4, we ended up at Soi Cowboy, and that's when the real adventure began. Don't get me wrong, Soi 4 has a few decent bars, but the women there seemed a little too old for me, and I don't think they were actually interested in me. It was only around 9 p.m, and the guy I was with said that Nana Plaza doesn't pick up until around 11 p.m, so we agreed to go there a bit later on. As soon as I stepped into the bar on Soi Cowboy, a bar girl came up to me. She was young, cute, had a lot of work done to her body, and was very touchy with me. She spoke very good English. Remember, this is my first time here. Later, I found out that if a bar girl speaks very good English, that can be a red flag. After chatting and having a few lady drinks, I paid her bar fine and took her back to my hotel. When we got back to the hotel, I did not realize it before, but she was pretty drunk, so I decided nothing was going to happen between us. I told her that she should leave and I will see her again tomorrow, but this time I will come earlier so she is not drunk. She got upset and kept pushing, but I told her I don't mess around with drunk girls. I was trying to be respectful because that is in my nature. I know it's work for her, but at the same time, I did not want to take advantage. I just wouldn't have felt right. Looking back, I realized it wasn't just that. Part of me had this nice guy thing, like I wanted to rescue her, be the hero. Like many of us that go there, we get this mindset where we want to save the girl, but really, I couldn't even save myself. Then things got a little intense. She grabbed a bottle and looked ready to throw it at me. She went from this cute, outgoing girl in the bar to an absolute monster, completely different person. I panicked and threw some money at her to calm things down. She took it and left. I was glad to be out of that situation, even if it means being out of pocket. This was my first ever bar fine, by the way, so it almost put me off Thailand altogether after that experience. The next day, I went back to Soi Cowboy and she apologized. And, well, I bar fined her again. Silly me. I don't know what made me bar fine her again after the first night. Just something about her that drew me to her. This time, I took her straight away, so there were no lady drinks and she was stone cold sober. We had a fantastic night together. In fact, it was such a good night together that I went back to her a few more times because I enjoyed my time with her. I ended up spending a few days and nights with her, and honestly, it was so good. And not just in the bedroom sense, like in the days we would go out to eat and then at night go to her bar for a few drinks before returning home to spend the night together again. Anyway, I told her that I had plans to go to Pattaya for 10 days, as I had already booked my hotel and got things sorted. She was upset that I was leaving, especially for Pattaya, and she was hinting that she wanted to come with me. I wanted to go alone because I had heard a lot of things about that city that I wanted to see for myself. Plus, I did not want to pay 10 nights worth of bar fines for her. In Pattaya, she kept texting me things like, "I love you," and "I miss you." We all know those lines now, but back then, I didn't. I did have fun in Pattaya, and it's such a crazy and lively place, but my mind was still on this girl from Soi Cowboy. I suppose we can all remember our first girl and the effect that she had on us, right? I did meet one girl in Pattaya, but I did not really have the same connection with her than I did my Bangkok girl. I thought it would be a waste of money if I stay there with a girl I don't really want to be with. After 5 days in Pattaya, I asked her if she would like me to cut my trip short and head back to Bangkok to spend the rest of my trip with her. She was more than happy for me to come back to her, and I was glad to show her that I did really like her and was willing to cut my trip short, just for her. In the last few days of my trip, I spent more time with her and things were going well. When we would go to her bar, I personally think she was the most attractive girl in there. Customers would always try and talk to her, even if she was sat next to me. And to be honest, it became pretty annoying. But she did tell them that she was with me, which was a nice feeling. And stupidly, I started to catch feelings for her. Looking back, I wish I stayed in Pattaya for the rest of my trip. Maybe this story would have been different. She told me she was falling in love with me, and I felt the same. People said she was just a freelancer, and it's just work for her. But I believed her feelings were real. Deep down, I should have listened to people and knew this was just her job, and it was all transactional. Problem is, I listened to my heart and not my head. In my heart, I believed that I could actually start a relationship with this girl if she stopped working at the bar. If she stopped working at the bar and got a normal job, then it would have been a lot easier on me. So I told her I'd give her 10,000 baht a month if she'd stop working at the bar. 10,000 is not a lot of money each month, even to Thais, so I know I was asking a lot from her. She sort of agreed to leave the bar for 10,000, and I headed back to the cold, gloomy Belgium, back to my boring life. When I got back home, to the surprise of absolutely nobody, of course, she did not stop working at the bar. 10,000 baht wasn't enough. She needed 40,000 to cover her expenses. I explained to her that I am not some rich old foreigner that can afford that kind of money each month. I told her that I needed to keep saving money so I could come back to Thailand to spend more time with her and be together. Of course, she did not listen. Money was more important to her than seeing me. Then the mind games began. The little manipulation, delayed replies, ignored calls, dodged questions. Every time I did not give in to her requests for money or other favors, she would make me feel extremely bad, as if I did not care for her at all. Even though I would try and give her what she wanted, it was never good enough. She always needed more. She would tell me that she is at work with a rich customer that can give her more than what I can. Just mean, uncalled for stuff like that to make me feel bad. I started losing it, feeling left in the dark, not knowing what to do. I was a silly, youngish foreigner that was in love with a bargirl. Things got so messed up that I even started playing games back. I would either ignore her or tell her I will send what she requested later, but I would never send it. After a while, with a friend's help, I started to see how much I was being played. I should have seen it a lot sooner. I guess I just got too caught up in the fantasy that this relationship could work. The thing with these girls generally is that they know every trick in the book and they know how to play the game very well. You can never win because in the end, they don't really care, and they probably never did since day one of meeting you. They are great at pretending like they have feelings for you. They know what to say to make you feel special and feel like she is different from the rest. Yes, I know the saying, "mine is different," is laughed about within the bar scene, but at the time, I knew nothing about that. I have listened to plenty of stories and read even more online, but I never found a simple reason why we fall for these bar girls beyond their smiles and charm. I mean, there are plenty of nice girls in Thailand that work normal, respectable jobs. So why do some of us fall for bar girls? Now, I want to go over some of the reasons I believe that us men can fall prey to these girls. Confidence. For me, and I'm sure this is true for a lot of other men, I lacked confidence in my own country with the females there. Not only was I not interested in them, they were not interested in me either. Before going to Thailand, I only had been with one woman, and I was 27 years of age. Most guys by that age would have been with a lot. When you arrive in Thailand and you start exploring the bars and the nightlife, the girls there make you extremely confident. The way they call you handsome, the way they make you feel, and the attention they show you is like no other. A guy like me that lacks the confidence, this is a dangerous playground to be in. It's easy to fall for their charm. I had never received this kind of attention, and all of a sudden, I was getting it in every bar. Unfortunately, when I first went to Thailand, I did not know all the lines they use, and thought the girls meant everything that they said to me. You slowly realize that these are trained girls. They say that to every guy, no matter what they look like. If you start believing everything they said, like I did, then you are going to be in for a roller coaster of emotions. Next, I think some men, also like myself, have the savior mindset. We believe that the girl does not really want to do this type of job and is forced into it by some reason or other. Once we catch feelings for one of them, we think we can save them from this type of world that they do not want to be in. But the truth is, a lot of these girls make big money and wouldn't even dream of leaving the bar world. They may claim that they do not want to do this work, but truth is, I think some of them enjoy it rather than working a normal, low-paying 9-to-5 job. Girls that work in bars have more chance of certain things, get more money, meet new people, and even a chance to get a visa from someone and move country for a better life. The list goes on. And they get to have all of this while being paid for it. When you think about it, you can't really blame these girls for doing this work. Next is loneliness. Loneliness can break people. Some people are fine with being alone, and some crave someone to spend their time with. As I already mentioned, I did not have much luck with the ladies in my life, but I always pictured in my mind of meeting someone, getting married, and having a family. Being lonely and going to Thailand, I was an easy target, waiting to be chewed up and spat out. A lot of people do not realize, and it's a misconception, that all men that fall in love with bar girls are old Westerners. The Western part is mostly true, but the age couldn't be more wrong. Guys of all ages and backgrounds can end up in my position, and you'll notice that most of the people that laugh about guys being stupid and falling in love with the bar girl are the guys that have done exactly the same. They are just trying to hide it. Eventually, I figured it out. It's a one-way street. We invest 100% and our mind tells us, I must really love her or I wouldn't be doing all of this. Then, when she starts pulling away, we invest even more because we don't want to lose all the money, effort, and time we have already put in. It's like losing money in a casino. Then you put more in trying to win back what you have already lost. Only in this situation, you don't get anything back, no matter how much you put in. I learnt a lot on this trip, and Thailand can either make or break you. You can go to Thailand and have the best time of your life, return home and go back to normal until the next trip. You can also go to Thailand, fall in love, and then everything changes, most of the time for the worst. Some people understand it, while others don't, and some will learn the hard way like I did. Though, sometimes I think it's best people learn the hard way. It's easy to say, I will never fall in love with a bar girl, until you do. It's true what many vloggers say, a relationship with a bar girl is tough, and I don't think it can work in the long run. Yes, there are some success stories out there, but most of the time, they met back in the day when the world and Thailand was a lot different, as were the people. Nowadays, the girls are always addicted to the hunt, always looking for the next guy. I think even if the girl met the guy of her dreams, she will still do her work because she's addicted to the hunt and the money. Just look how many stories there are where the guy pays a handsome amount of money each month for his girlfriend not to work at the bar, only to find out later down the line that she never did leave the bar. But there's one thing we can learn from them: abundance. I've seen it. Many people come to Thailand looking for their dream girls in the bar, just like I did. But they don't realize that the chances of finding someone who truly loves you and wants to be with you for more than just your money are pretty slim. They make good holiday girlfriends, but once you leave Thailand, that's when everything will start piling up on you. I think one reason many people fall for Thai girls is that we all have our own problems and insecurities. Maybe like me, men lack confidence, they're shy, not good at talking to women, stuff like that. In Thailand, it feels easier to get attention from girls, while in Europe, it's much tougher to attract beautiful women. I realize I have my own problems too, and I thought traveling would help me get attention from girls. But in the end, the kind of attention isn't permanent. You have to work for everything in life. With my low self-esteem and fears, even if I wanted to be with a Thai girl, it would never work out. I'd end up living for her instead of myself. The girl I met could have quite easily broke me financially and emotionally. If it wasn't for my friend and all the stories people had shared, then it quite well could have happened. First, I need to find myself and work on my issues before I even think about finding a Thai girl. There are many cultural differences, and if you're not grounded, you can lose everything there. It's such an illusion, and many people end up getting trapped. You really need to get into your head that while in Thailand, this is a temporary getaway from the real world, and it's not going to last. I love the saying that I hear a lot, that when going to Thailand, you should leave your heart at the airport, because it's exactly 100% true. Having said all that, Thailand does not only have the nightlife, it's a beautiful country and many ways to meet girls there. If you are looking for love, probably best to stay out of the bar, and in that case, you can take your heart with you. I believe that if you know who you are and are happy with yourself, then a long-term relationship with a Thai girl can work. But that's not easy. As a man, you often have to provide for almost everything, and if you don't find a good girl, you get very little in return. And this isn't just down to Thai women, it's any woman. A relationship with a Thai girl can work, but it's tough to find someone in the bar scene. So next year, I plan to go back and look for a good girl, not a freelancer or a bar girl. I want to do it from the heart. That's my experience. Take from it what you will. Thank you and good luck.